Chapter 17, Reality. A week has gone by since I enacted these new rules. We haven't needed to go to Gorefield Park at all. We always ended up here in Robbinsog because we never have been notified again by the return. But we have always been paranoid by the idea, so I'm still enacting those rules, and unfortunately, they're making us act super strange. Today was the day our mom wanted to talk to us. We got a knock on our door, and it was our mom after work, so we told her to come in. I have been a little bit concerned about you lately, said our mom with concern in her voice. Why? I asked before I knew it was the right time to tell lies. Because I noticed you have not been your normal characters for the past week. Is there a reason for that? Our mom asked. No, Sam said. Also, what is wrong if our character changes? Your character has changed too, I asked. My mom gave me a wicked look. I guess that... Never mind, just live in your own reality, or Mom said. We were about to start our own business again. Except, Marcus, I want to talk with you. Can you please come out of your room for a few minutes so I can talk to you? My mom asked. Yes, I said. I then left the room and I began to talk to my mother. What's up, my queen? Yes, I sometimes call my mother that because she is okay with that because my mother is a queen. I was then pinned to a wall in a way I feel like I was slammed in the head. Ow! What the fuck, Mom? Listen, I know you know something. If you ever bring it up again while I am in the room, I am kicking you out, my mom said. I then just moaned in pain. Marcus! My mom screamed at me. Fine, bitch, I said. My mom then let me go, and then I collapsed to the ground as she walked off to her room. She walked off to her room, I was in a lot of pain. I wasn't crying or anything, but I was just lying on the ground, having difficulty breathing, and was too weak to move. However, after she shut the door to her room, our door opened. Sam and George didn't ask what happened. They just helped me drag me into our room and lift me onto my bed. Are you okay? Sam asked. I am going to need time for my back to heal on its own. And then I need to go to the hot tub, I said. We sort of figured out what happened, said George. Fine. Fine, but don't ask about the words exchanged between me and our mother, I said to George. I won't, George said. Don't repeat them either, I said. I won't either, said George. I then rolled over. Sam, can you check my back and the back of my head to make sure everything is okay? I asked. Of course, said Sam. Sam then lift up my shirt and took a look at everything. How does everything appear to be doing? I asked. Nothing looks bruised, but everything looks red, said Sam. Look on the bright side. At least your back is now your favorite color, Georgia said. That's not helping, I said to George. Oh, sorry, said George. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain, with the worst pain being higher? Sam asked. 5, down from an 8 when it happened, I said. Okay, that seems accurate by the way your backside looks, said Sam. Any blood? George asked. No, remember all I said, is that everything looks a little red. Also, if there is blood, I would have said something about it by now, Sam reminded George. Oh yeah, said George. Sam then put my shirt down. What could have made Mommy do that to you? George asked. Not important, I said, winking at Sam. Why? George asked. It just isn't. It just isn't. You know how she kicked my ass before? I said to George because he knew what the word ass meant. Yeah, said George. I just did something which is unimportant that upset her. To be honest, I actually sort of deserved it, I said to George, winking at Sam again to try and cover this up as much as possible. Okay, George said. There was a pause for a few moments, and then I began talking again. Well, my pain is at 3, Ivy. I think I'm going to go up in the hot tub now to ease the pain away. Can I come too? Sam asked. Me 3, George asked. George, can you play in the pool for a few minutes while I talk to Sam, and then you can join me in the hot tub? I asked George. Sure, said George. He then changed over and went up, and I also brought up sour candy cigars while we were up there. When we got there, after I laid my stuff down, I watched George get into the pool, and then Sam went to the hot tub, and I turned on the jets so that way George couldn't hear us. So why do you think Mom slammed you into the wall? Sam asked quietly. Because I brought up to her mobility issues and how her character has changed since George was born, I said. I see. Have you noticed how Mom is the kind of person who, if you do something and she gets concerned about it, and if she also has that habit, she would just shut you off? No, because what you just described is something that only happens between you and Mom. I think it is something totally brought on by Mom's autism, I said. I also think Mom just likes being right. Or she just has low self-esteem. What? Sam asked. If Mom wears pants instead of a skirt, she would say that she looks ugly. That just shows that if everything that is her business and not really yours wants to be perfect for her, she exaggerates about how minor things like having to wear pants can be a big deal for her, because if she says she is ugly, she has to wear pants. People who say they are ugly because they have low self-esteem, so I think she has low self-esteem, which is why she wears a skirt 24/7, I explained. Oh. People also have, having the right to feel that way to raise their self-esteem. How do you know all this? Through my years of studying to find a cure for autism, I learned a lot about how neurotypicals function. You know more about psychology than autism? Yes, I just specialize in autism, but I know a lot more than just about autism. Let me ask you this. What is the main difference between autism and ADHD? People with ADHD have difficulty paying attention. We don't. Do they have difficulty behaving like me? Well, let me say that even though the school you go to is the one for people with behavioral issues, I am the one with the worst behavioral issues at the moment, I said. Oh, said Sam. I set the bubbles for 5 minutes because that was all the time I felt we were going to need to talk, and sure enough, I was right because the bubbles then turned off. George, you can come in here now, I said. George then came here to the hot tub and turned the bubbles back on, and I gave him a candy cigar too. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what level pain would you say you were at now? George asked. 2, I answered. 2? What will it take to get you down to a 1? George asked. I then came up with a cool idea. I said with a smile. I then came up with a cool idea. This, I said with a smile. I then dunked my head completely under the water, and then I took it back out. The reason why I was at 2 was because my head still hurt a bit. Now it is all better, I said. What causes hot water to ease pain? Sam asked. I don't know. I study the brain, not everything, I said with a mix of a smile and a chuckle. Sam and George then laughed too. Let me see how red your back looks now, said Sam. I then turned so Sam could see my back. Huh, it actually looks more red, said Sam. That was probably because of all the heat from the hot tub, but I am no longer in any pain, I said. I see. George, can I see your back? Said Sam. George then turned. Yep, I totally agree. It is just because of the heat, said Sam. Does that mean my back looks a little red? George asked. Yes, Sam answered. It's okay. It is okay. It is just from the heat. That probably should mean we need to get out of here, I said. We then went to the out of the pool and went to the elevator. But we were heading down the While we were heading down on the elevator, I asked Sam a very important question.